Welcome to the Tree Report Connection with Tommy. This video is on your spoilers for WWE for this week, being that they have already taped them in London, England. And here's some brief news. Olympus has fallen. Star Morgan Freeman has been challenged to a wrestling match by WWE superstar Cody Rhodes, so he can commentate on it with his distinct voice. Morgan Freeman challenged to a wrestling match, as Morgan Freeman has been challenged to a wrestling match by Cody Rhodes. 27-year-old grappler thinks the Olympus has fallen star would be an ideal opponent in the ring because after they had fought, Morgan, being 75, could lend his distinct, deep voice to the bout. When asked which celebrity he'd like to wrestle, Cody cheekily answered, Morgan Freeman, because I feel like I could win because he's old, although I'm sure he's tough. But then we could sell it and he could narrate the match. Like he narrates everything, he could explain everything because he's such a great storyteller. He could tell the story of me beating him, and that would be wonderful. Although Cody is an admirer of Morgan and a film fan in general, he has no ambitions to launch a Hollywood career. The Raw star respects that his fellow wrestler, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, has achieved on the big screen, appearing in such films as G.I. Joe, Retaliation, and Fast 5, but it's not his ambition to be a movie action man. Cody, who was expected to appear on WWE Extreme Rules, which will be live and exclusive on Sky Sports box office on Sunday night, May 19th, exclusively told Bang Showbiz, I always said absolutely not, but if a man was to walk in and tell me, all right, you're going to be in Fast and Furious 35, for an instance, I'd be running with him. I would only want to do it as a pro wrestler like Cody Rhodes from the WWE and something. Because my home is the ring, I don't really have any ambition to platform into another form of entertainment. Cody is currently in Britain on the WrestleMania Revenge Tour, and he as the rest of the WWE superstars, will return to the UK and Ireland in November for 13 live shows. Kizarny talks movies, as he was in an interview with Orda O'Cal, coming out next year. One of the movies is called Unlucky Charms. And he talked more about being asked to perform for TNA on the one night only pay-per-view. And then after the show, he was complained to after the event by Brother Love, being Bruce Pritchard, and that he almost blew the studio up with his fireworks, and then ended the interview with showing his new tats on his fingers and hands. DDP revealed that Stone Cold Steve Austin will start using dddpyoga this week during an interview with John Corrigan of the Temple News. I just quoted by saying, one of my very good buddies, Stone Cold Steve Austin, has agreed to do it for 1 month while filming Redneck Island. His Hollywood stunt man swears by dddpyoga. Steve lifts weights and does cardio for an hour a day, 5 days a week. I told him you only need to do my workout 20 minutes a day for 3 days a week, and it will replace your cardio. He had to ask others for confirmation, even though the son of a gun lived with me. And Paige also commented on being a personal trainer at the Accountability Crib in Atlanta. Those guys have had major problems with alcoholism, pill abuse, and drugs. Since Jake the Snake Roberts moved in around October, he has lost 65 pounds. His life is back in shape, and he looks like a completely different man. After Scott, he recently had hip surgery, so we've been focusing on light rehab and healthy eating habits. WWE Smackdown taping for Friday's television show took place earlier today in London, England, at the O2 Arena. The television main event is Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger in an ODQ match. Undertaker was advertised for the Smackdown taping. He was originally advertised for Smackdown only, and it remains to be seen whether he will appear on the actual TV show, or if this is simply a dark segment, and he was in the dark segment. As advertising for the show, list Taker teaming with Randy Orton and Sheamus to face the Shield. The match is listed as a London exclusive, so it's likely that the dark match main event. The following wrestlers and are advertised for the Smackdown taping: Undertaker, Alberto Del Rio, Randy Orton, Sheamus, Big Show, Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, Wade Barrett, Santino Marella, Fandango, and Natalia. And I did borrow some pictures from one of the dirt sheets for the spoilers, and you can check them on my Facebook page. If I had a mirror, I'd show them to you on this, and I might even add them to the video after I do some editing. The WWE Raw crew is in Nottingham, England, at the Nottingham Capital FM Arena. The show will be held at the same time as the SmackDown taping, so the following wrestlers advertised for the Raw show are unlikely to appear at SmackDown. Thus being John Cena, Ryback, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, Kane, R-Truth, Antonio Cesaro, Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, AJ Lee, and Caitlyn. I didn't see any Big E Langston on it. Late pro wrestling legend Terry Gordy was born on this date, 1961. He died July 16, 2001. Gordy was the heavy for the Great Fabulous Freebirds trio that included Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts. Gordy died of a heart attack caused by a blood clot at the age of 40 on July 16, 2001. Gordy's son Ray wrestled in WWE as Jesse and Slam Master Jay. The Freebirds are long overdue for WWE Hall of Fame entry, as far as I'm concerned. WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas, real name Anthony White, turned 69 years old today. He was born April 23rd, 1944. And here's the result from a Raw live event with a birthday party at the end of the show for John Cena. From Nottingham, England, report by .NET reader Chris Flynn, his wife, and his 4-year-old daughter Caitlyn. Match number 1, and these are real brief. R-Truth defeated Heath Slater. They did a vote for whether AJ Lee should be allowed to appear at ringside. Match number 2, Michael McGillicuddy beat Brad Maddox. Maddox announced that he would face McGillicuddy, who got the win before Brad could even get his wrestling gear. Match number 3, Caitlyn defeated Tamina Snuka to retain the Divas Championship, and there were chances for Justin Roberts and the referee mid-match. Match number 4, Daniel Bryan and Kane defeated Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston with AJ Lee, if he wasn't advertised. AJ got the vote to stay, and there were tons of yes chants. Bryan performed the longest airplane spin in the world on Ziggler. He eventually pinned off. Afterwards, Bryan charged Kane like a bull to get his title belt. Funny spot. He hugged it out to conclude the first part of the show. And then they had intermission, and then you got 3 more matches. Zack Ryder defeated Antonio Cesaro, which was a crap match with loads of rest holds, and Ryder finally won. Match number 6, Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea defeated Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. Tons of funk received. The pop of the night, at this point in the show, Clay did his dance, and then the fandangoing started with the fans. In your main event, John Cena defeated Ryback in a tables match to retain the WWE title. And the crowd was minds for Cena, as well as Phoebe Moore and Goldberg chants for Ryback. Cena smiled at a happy birthday chant. He performed the Attitude Adjustment and drove Ryback through a table for the win. After the match, the locker room came out for Cena's birthday. They joked about the Sweet Tea name, and all the faces were in the ring with a cake. Cena tried to put some cake in Naomi's face, but it didn't work out well, and he dropped it in the ring. Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow came out at the end. It was a fun night, great for the family. There were no pro wrestling shows listed for ESPN Classic. WWE will announce during Wednesday's episode of WWE Main Event that next Monday's Raw from the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio will feature Ryback and the WWE Champion John Cena versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the main event. And The Rock had surgery earlier today, and he tweeted, "Surgery a success. Doctor repaired repaired 3 hernial tears. Fun pain. Superman is on the mend. And hashtag we fall, we rise. And yes, there was a picture of him on one of the dirt sheets. I did not care to get it. But he had a great big open mouth smile. And with a Superman and a shower cap on. And the rest was history. And a comment from Jeff Sheridan says that you don't have to print this if you don't want to. But I figured for those who listen to Hillbilly Jim's Moonshine Matinee show every weekend, you should know that about his friend, sidekick, Uncle Percy Mandelberg, whose real name was James Brent Travelstead. Anyhow, the long story short, he got an email from someone named Rick Mitchell, whom I'm assuming is Percy's webmaster for www.percymandelberg.net site. And he mentioned that James Brent Travelstead, Uncle Perry Mandelberg, has died. So for those interested in reading the obituary, it is on the website. Again, this was Hillbilly Jim's sidekick on his Moonshine Matinee TV shows, not on in his wrestling career. And here's the spoilers for Saturday Morning Slam from London, England. Report by .net reader Matthew Davies. And there's at Tommy_Starbuck. Probably on Twitter. The dark match, Alex Riley finally in action, defeated Primo with Epico in his corner after a couple of minutes with a swinging neckbreaker. For those that don't know, Rosa was sent home over the weekend at her request with personal problems. Riley got a decent pop, as you would expect, given this was his first match. The first match on the show. The venue was around 2/3 full at the point. And now for your Saturday Morning Slam. Josh Matthews and Alicia Fox came out to handle commentary. As those of us in the arena said, a silent prayer of thanks that we were here and not listening to that combo. Match number 2, Santino beat Jinder Mahal to win. A win came courtesy of a Cobra. Santino came to the ring on a Boris bike, a bicycle you can hire by the hour in London, named after Mayor Boris Johnson. Santino's stick is funnier in person than on TV, first time around at least. And match number 2, Randy Orton and Sheamus defeated the Primetime Players. Standard stuff, Orton pinning D. Young after an RKO. That's your Saturday Morning Slam match. That's it. WWE main event spoilers taping from London, England. Report by .net reader Matthew Davies again. JBL stood center ring with the mic in hand. He got a good pop. JBL called out Mark Henry. The big man waddles down the aisle and into the ring. JBL runs footage of Henry's attacks on Sheamus from the past few weeks. JBL says he wants to see Henry fight tonight. Henry suggests a 2-on-1 match. JBL has a better idea, a 4-on-1 gauntlet match, and Henry agrees. Mark Henry lost the gauntlet match by count out. Out came the Usos. Both were distracted in swift fashion by a couple of World's Strongest Slams. Next came out Santino Marella. Man, it seemed early to be wheeling him out again after he was out for the Saturday Morning Slam taping. Is the Brooklyn Brawler in Nottingham tonight? Santino was caught off the top rope for the pin, which brought out the final gauntlet runner. Well, runner? Perhaps not the word to describe the great Khali, who takes an age to get into the ring. Looking as if every step is excruciating and as if it's been years since he bent his knees. I am genuinely concerned for his health. Surely the flying alone is ruining his quality of life. It's not like he adds much in the ring anyways. After some back and forth action, Henry decides he's had enough and walks up the aisle for the count out. What a limp way to finish. Excuse the pun. Khali wins. Cue dreadful dancing. Matt Striker stood at the top of the ramp and introduced Zeb Coulter. He had a fairly amusing line when he asked, "What type of man dyes their hair blonde?" In reference to Dolph Ziggler. Jack Swagger then came out and said, "We the people," too many times. As the reporter said. And now for a brief Smackdown TV taping, courtesy of WrestlingInc.com, and they are brief. Match number 1, Swagger defeated Alberto Del Rio in an ODQ match. Match number 2, Layla beat Oksana. Match number 3, Fandango defeated Justin Gabriel. And number 4, Big Show defeated Sheamus when Mark Henry interfered. And match number 5, Wade Barrett defeated William Regal. Match number 6, Mark Henry defeated Randy Orton by disqualification when Sheamus interfered. Match number 7, Undertaker defeated Dean Ambrose. Afterward, the Shield powerbomb Taker through the announcer table afterwards. Triple H and the New Age Outlaws fought off the Shield at the end of the show in what was likely the dark match segment. Plus Fandango came out, and the crowd was Fandangoing to end the show. And a detailed report says differently on that. And the report came by, again, by Matthew Davies from Twitter.com/Tommy_Starbuck. Lillian Garcia kicks off SmackDown taping with a pitch-perfect rendition of our frankly dreadful national anthem. God Save the Queen! Fair play to Lillian. She made the dreary dirge sound almost inspiring with her impressive pipe. There's a promo on the big screen saying Taker returns to SmackDown tonight, suggesting he isn't just here for the dark match event, as I assumed. Match number 1, Swagger defeated Alberto Del Rio in a no disqualification match. Now, didn't they say that that was supposed to be the main event? Well, due to the card subject to change rules, well, that's what happened. Del Rio got what could more accurately be described as polite applause. Then a sustained pop, but at this point in his flattening babyface run, he may well take that. Lots of props, including a cane, a chair, and ladders. Involvement for Coulter and Ricardo too. Swagger eventually won the match with the match of the night so far by pinfall. Match number 2, Layla beat Oksana. Oksana was out first. Not many here seem to know who she was. Next out was Layla. I thought she may have had a decent reaction being British. Alas, she was greeted by cricket. Lillian doesn't help by announcing Layla as from Miami, Florida, but Layla has hardly aided her cause by eradicating her British accent almost totally. Plus, she is a dull. She's as dull as the dishwasher. Layla eventually won with a messy roll-up as Fandango chants began in earnest. The Shield delivered a handheld camera promo that was recorded backstage. They hinted at going after the tag titles, whilst Dean Ambrose announced it's him versus Taker tonight. Ambrose promised to finish off the dead man, or words to that effect. Match number 3, Fandango defeated Justin Gabriel. There was a Road Warrior-esque pop for Fandango. A vignette was shown on how his music got to number 2 on the iTunes chart over there, when it was number 1 in the United States. And while that was happening, his opponent surreptitiously slipped into the ring, and 99% sure it was Justin Gabriel, but there was no announcement to confirm that, and I was in the nosebleed seat, and Fandango won a fairly basic match. Any excuses to hear that music again? Match number 4, Big Show defeated Sheamus. The match failed to capture fans' attention and was punctuated by chants for everyone from RVD to Fandango to disgraced soccer player Luis Suarez. Mark Henry came down and turned the steps over. This was enough to distract Sheamus and let Big Show get the win. Match number 5, Barrett Barrage defeated William Regal. Lots of noise for these two, as you expect. Sadly, they weren't given much time in front of their very vocal home supporters. And Barrett wanted a couple of minutes. He didn't even get the courtesy of having his ring music followed up from in the aisle. Instead, a second replay of the Triple H and Paul Heyman confrontation was shown from Raw. Match number 6, Mark Henry defeated Randy Orton by disqualification. At this point, it became rather obvious that half of the crew was in Nottingham tonight. Sheamus came down midway through the proceedings and Bro kicked Henry for the disqualification. Rather than being annoyed with his pal for costing him the match, Orton surely added an RKO to Henry's problems. There was a Booker T backstage interview, which was interrupted by Khali, Santino, the Primetime Players, and other also randoms. It's all basically unintelligible, but thankfully ended quickly enough. A graphic on the Titantron suggested it's Shield versus John Cena and Ryback on Raw next week. It's Cena's chance to continue what he started on Monday and undo all the good work done with Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose thus far. In match number 7, your actual main event, Undertaker defeated Dean Ambrose by submission. Time for the main event. Not many sat down for Taker's entrance. It was the first time I've ever seen it live, probably the last in all likelihood. Even after seeing it on TV all these times, it's genuine goosebumps moment. And Ambrose and the Shield come through the crowd. What a buzz this must be for Ambrose. Surely the highlight of his career so far. Taker gave Super Cena a lesson in the art of believable selling before eventually making Ambrose tap to the Gogoplata, which is nothing more than Hell's Gate. After the bell, the darn numbers game caught up with Taker. Roman Reigns gave him a mercy spear through the barricade, followed by a powerbomb through the announcer's table. The Shield stood tall over Taker at that point, where I presume the taping ends. And here's your Dark Match segment. After a while, New Age Outlaws music hits, and they arrive to an ear-splitting reaction, which only increased when Triple H has joined them. The three faces cleaned house to send the live crowd home happy. But wait, once Billy and Trips helped Taker to the back, Fandango's music hit, and he came out for one final sing-along. Liam wished us all a good night, and everyone left chanting the new unforgettable Fandango theme. Final thoughts, a decent night's entertainment, but man, it really hurt having a Raw show run on the same night. I don't feel like I need to see Santino, Khali, Henry, Sheamus, or Orton for a really long time. How come Dolph Ziggler wasn't on the card? Surely as a Blue Brand champ, he should have been in London for a second night. WWE may have killed the cool factor for the Fandango thing in the United States with last week's Raw, but it was still red hot here. Perhaps given our propensity to enjoy a chant and the music's natural fit into that. I didn't spend any money in the merchandise tent, but I noticed that there were a lot of Sin Cara tees on sale. Gotta get rid of them somehow, I guess. And that a program would have set me back 15 pounds, which equals $23 in US. My friend who accompanied me hadn't seen any wrestling since childhood. He also enjoyed the show, but his highlight by far was watching 16,000 do the Fandango. It'll grow old soon, but for now, it's really quite something to witness. And Johnny Curtis must have been thrilled. And a little bit more here. The dark match took place after Tuesday's WWE tapings from London, England. Undertaker defeated Dean Ambrose by submission with Hell's Gate. After the match, the Shield attacked Taker, and then Triple H and the New Age Outlaw ran down to make the save and helped Undertaker fight off the Shield to send the crowd home happy. And at that point, I'll be showing some pictures to end my video. Thanks again, and peace out.